Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. And today it's Thursday, and I'm doing my own thing. So I went shopping. Yes, I did. I didn't spend a huge amount, but I'm really pleased with what I got for my money because I spent about $50, I would say, along with the perfect cast for the molds, which is they say it's 5 times stronger than plaster, which it actually is. And you get it from Joanne or Target, and it's $3 or $4 for a bag. But it's just really useful to hang around. So if you throw the cost of my perfect cast into my order, plus the shipping, I spent about $50. So what did I get? I will actually link this store because the service was fabulous. Isn't it gorgeous? That is a sheet of cardstock, but actually I got two. And this is the only cardstock that I got from the store, but it was kind of like enough design there for me to only need two. I may actually go back and get the entire pad, but it's all colour wheels, colour swatches, which I absolutely love. And then on the reverse, you've got the fabulous ink splashes and paint splashes and script and staining, and it's just gorgeous. I mean, this is, me all over when I like to do a little bit of bookmaking. Right, so 2 sheets of paper and of course Stamperia. Next up, I got myself, I may be late to the party on these, the Stamperia Pink Christmas, and their die cuts are chipboard, and I've just got them all out, which means I'm going to make a lovely mess. You can see how thick they are. They are chipboard pieces. All I can describe them as is having a sheen and a thickness probably twice as thick as a cereal box. So I've got various Christmas elements in here, and my dear burst the bottom out of the bag, but he's huge, or she's huge. Wonderful. And then I've also got a Christmas sleigh, because I'm going to use these to make a little Christmas diorama. I've got some pink tinsel and glitter and stuff to use. I've got kitty cats, more little tags, names, little squares and things. I've got little girls in the snow, very European, sort of like fairy tale images. And there's Santa again, little squirrel on there, losing my voice, and another squirrel. Lots of squirrels in this set. And look at that tree. Isn't that awesome? Just absolutely gorgeous. Got a little Christmas trim bit there that can go in my diorama. And then you've got little labels. Lots and lots of little labels. There's even a rabbit, look. Isn't that pretty? I just absolutely love it. And then you've got 2 little squirrels joined together. Lots and lots and lots of little pieces. Right. I'll pop those back into the bag. Whoops. There we go. I think there's something like 77 pieces. Look at that little bird. That's sweet. Ooh, I'm going to have so much fun. Right. Okay. Let's get it all up. Yeah, I'm being quiet while I sift and pick. Right. So that was my first bag of die cuts, and then I got another bag of die cuts. I got Alice because I do love Alice in Wonderland, and that is the biggest piece. Imagine that on the front of a book. Isn't that gorgeous? And there's Alice again, and there's the King, and then you get the Mad Hatter. That's one of my favourite characters, I have to say. The Mad Hatter and the Hooker Smoking Caterpillar are my favourites. But look at that. Isn't that wonderful? Just filled, as you can see, with all sorts of stuff. Little cards, little teapots, the rabbit again. Just really, really gorgeous. Well, the backs of them are white, but you've got like little elements here as well that you can use. So basically that's what I got. I got me an Alice bag of die cuts. I would call them chipboards personally. And then I got another bag, which I haven't opened yet. So I'm going to open this with you and pour it all out. Why not? Let's have a look what's in here. This one's called, let's have a look, Atelier des Arts. I believe that's how you say it. And you know this is right up my street. And it matches the paper that I purchased. And that little hole will pop out. I've got that gorgeous palette. I'm just going to ignore the phone because I'm having too much fun. And then you've got a little book. Just really, really beautiful elements. And that looks like, I don't know, sort of Chinese blossomy, really spring. And we've got little bird's nests. And look at the paintbrush. Isn't that gorgeous? Yes, getting all excited now. Little stacking suitcases. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a vase of flowers in a frame. That pretty teacup. Just, oh, look at that. Look. Isn't that wonderful? I just love it. As I said, I will link this store below. I was really impressed. I'm just going to make myself a fabulous little picture using all of these elements and some of that paper. And look, the bits pop out. So, I don't know if you have to use a craft knife. I don't want to tear anything. And then pop that bit out and you've got your scissors all covered in string and paint and stuff. Just absolutely glorious. And then you've got another little brush and paint tubes and tiny brushes. And look, bottle of ink. Oh, I'm like a child at Christmas. There you go, Atelier des Arts. Oh, little alarm clock, because of course you need to keep track of the time when you're creating. Not. Another tube of paint. Gorgeous little door. Oh, more paintbrushes. More like little flowers and another paintbrush. Little pencils, little tubes of paint. It's just absolutely glorious. Right, so that was my paper and my die cuts. Love that colour wheel. And I'm going to clean this area and come back with my next bit. Right, so my next bit is going to be moulds, and I purchased 3, and I have actually gone back to the store and I think I've just ordered another 3. These were $7.25 each, and I have used them all and purposely not washed them so that you can see the kind of condition they're in once you've popped your stuff out. They're not that bad. I mean, you could quite literally just a piece of damp kitchen paper towel and go around in those. I put my hand under the teapot. Look at the size of that. It's gorgeous. I'm going to measure because they're so glorious. Right, if I get the teapot up to the camera, go from the spout to the handle, it's 4 inches. Look at that. And then 3 inches. I mean, if you're not using plaster and you're using paper clay instead, these can be moulded around, if you like me. Yeah, here we go again. I collect tomato cans and I love decorating tomato cans. And I do all sorts of things with them. I'll stand my paintbrushes up, pens, all sorts of stuff. But if you use paper clay, when you pop that out, it's still malleable. So on a tomato can, you can kind of like go around the corners with it. But if you cover the whole thing first in paper clay, paint it up and stain it, and then do your appliques, which would be these, pop those on and paint those up and stain them, you can create some seriously funky items for the kitchen, the craft room, for putting plants in. Now this one, I'll turn them over. It's always tea time. And as I said, I've casted a lot of these, so I'm going to be able to show you. And then in this one, look at Alice. Look at the size of Alice. Oh, look, look, look. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And the finish on it is almost like, I can't describe it. they're sort of like blown. They've been, you know, vac formed and then covered in this coating so that you can put resin into them as well, not just paper, clay and plaster. So if I do the White Rabbit and go to his bits, 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then Alice, which is huge, is almost 4 1/4, and then her skirt area going across is almost 2 1/4 inches. So I put my hand under it, you can see Alice. You've got the clock. Turn it over again, I'm showing it the wrong way around. You've got Wonderland, just absolutely beautiful. And then look at the frames. One of the things that I went back and ordered is they do a sheet like this. These are called the soft maxi mold, and it's just filled with tiles so that you can just pour a whole bunch of tiles and do them. And once again, I didn't clean it out, and you can see you can just wipe your finger along and your dust comes out. But these are just absolutely glorious. Now this piece here is the biggest one, so I'll pop the ruler on there, and it's just under 5 inches. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Look at all those details. Right, I'm going to pause while I'll grab my my cookie tray. Hang on a second. Right, so I've got my you know, my cooling rack thing here, which I don't use anymore because I don't bake things like that. But look at the detail. Let's see how close we can get. And this is done with perfect cast, which is supposed to be 5 times stronger than plaster. Now, I'm wondering, is that a better picture? Yeah. Look at the gorgeous detail in that. Now, I know that a lot of people can be frightened about making molds like this because they're thinking, yeah, got it. All I can do is put wax paste on it because it's too intricate to do anything with. No, 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 no. I'm going to show you something. Now, these are recently poured, so they're still a little bit damp, but I'm still going to do it. And look at the teacup. Now you can see I over poured here, and that's supposed to be empty. Now, should I be bothered or not? Probably not, me. And then we've got a tiny little clock, and you're looking at the hands and you're thinking, how do I make that pretty and decorative? I'm about to show you. And then you've got a cute little deck of cards. Oh, just lovely. And then, of course, I got overzealous getting this teapot out, and I broke the spout off it. But I just want you to see the detail. Isn't it glorious? Just those little bits out. I just go along those with my nail file. Now, I can glue that on, or I can pour another one. But I know me, and I'd just pour another one. And then you got this one, look, with the acanthus leaves just scrolling around. So I'm trying to think, which one can I pick here to show you? I think maybe the biggest one. I'll do a bit of the biggest one just to show you. And first of all, I'm just going to gently move it out of the way. Make sure I don't drop it off the table. So it is quite a large cooling rack. I hope I didn't go completely off mic. And there's a teapot that I've already played around with. Now, that's just playing around. So that isn't a finished piece. But I will show it you. But I managed to get air bubbles in. So I thought I'd just play with that one and see what I come up with. So I do quite like the colour scheme on that. But here you can see Alice. Now, one of the nice things to do with plaster is to use watercolour, but only if you're going to use acrylic afterwards. And the reason that I say that is because watercolour will bleed. It will just spider out into places where you don't want it. You might think at first, oh, it looks really nice, but as it starts to dry, it will absorb into plaster. So, for example, I've got a pen here. Move my ink pad out of the way, and this is a watercolor pen. It's a Jane Davenport one, and for example, this is a flesh feature, so I know that I can go on there and I can do that bit because she's kind of like looking sideways and it looks great, but I know that within an hour it's going to have spidered into the hair, and that's okay because I would come back then and do the hair in acrylic, and you're thinking, how on earth are you going to hold a paintbrush to get in and do details like that? Well, I'm going to show you. Right, so imagine there that you're quite happy with the flesh tones that you have achieved on Alice, and it does look really nice, but you can see it's spilt onto the dress, you know, and that's not really a finished piece. I don't think that many people would be happy with. So you've managed to achieve that. She's looking off in a direction, and I think there's a little bit of hands there that I've missed. So you can see I've gone onto the dress. Right, so let me show you. Let me pause while I just grab something. Whoops. Okay, so this is what you need. This is what I've shown you a couple of weeks ago. Poscat pens. Now, Alice is traditionally shown with blonde hair, and it's kind of primary pen on a piece of paper, and it's traditionally kind of a straw yellow colour with some orange in it. Now, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I'm just showing you that with a paint pen, you can go in and you can get the details that you need to achieve on things like this, because it is quite literally not using a brush but just colouring in. And you can see here where you've got all the hair detail. Now, alcohol ink you can use on plaster, but once again it will bleed, so you can get the sort of like traditional alcohol ink blended effect if that's what you want on plaster, but it will never be tidy where you put it. So anyway, I've done a little bit of Alice's hair there, and I'm going to take it down to the dress point, because that's where we would all struggle, I think, with a paintbrush, getting down to those elements there where her dress would be blue. And I think a lot of us would struggle with this next bit as well. So I'm just shaking it up and then just prime it off on a piece of paper. You can sometimes overflood your pen if you push too hard. And then you can start to just follow those lines, just like you're colouring in. So you don't have to be afraid of colouring stuff like this, because my hands with a real fine brush would be horribly shaky. Well, I am going to pick this up in a second for you so that you can see it. But I purposely did the hair down to the dress so that I can do just that little bit down there to show you. And of course you can draw around the arm section as well, so you don't have to, you know. But I want to show you the arms done with the watercolour first. See how all of that is bled out into what would be the dress area. And that's why you would need to use an acrylic paint, so that you're getting something opaque to put over the surface. But I'm going to finish putting this bit in here. Just keep priming your pen and getting your paint to the tip, and it will flood down into those areas where you want it. Right, so I'm going to leave that there, and now I'm going to do a dress bit that we would find difficult. Prime that again, and I'm just going to go in. Sounds all rather squeaky. Do you know, I might have used this one already, and I might need to buy a new one. Excuse me while I just pick it up. Yeah, I think my blue has run out. Might have been because I used quite a bit on my little teapot. But I just wanted to show you that you can start to put blue into areas where you would think that you couldn't get blue. Yeah, this one is... let me leave that there for a minute and see what happens. Yeah, I think I need to buy myself a new one. but you can go in with your pen as I'm showing here. If you've got one that's working properly, you're going to get full and neat coverage instantly. But you can hear it's all scratchy, it's drying out. So I need a new one. But you can get your colour down into places and along places that you wouldn't. Let me get another blue. Hang on a second. Right, I've got this one and I'm going to see how this one works. So, like this arm section here, if you took a paintbrush and did it, I don't know about you, but I'd be all shaky doing that. And then you can just track around where the hands are so that you're covering up that watercolour that has bled out. And now with that line, you know where you're working to, and you can just go in with your Posca pen and you can quite literally just colour the surface and just do it really neatly. And like this little band on her dress would be a white ribbon, and I couldn't do that, what I've just done with a paintbrush, which is why I love paint pens. And then of course this bit down here would be blue, so you'd be going under there too. I hope I'm still on camera. And then turning it the other way around, and then you know the lines with which you're working to, because you would then just fill that in like that. And of course you can let it dry and you can go back and do it neatly again afterwards if there's any little gaps missing, because Posca is like Copics. Doesn't matter how much you put on, it will always retain the same colour. That's what I was saying to you the other day. If Tim Holtz ever released paint pens in all those distress colours, oh, it would be like going to heaven, wouldn't it? But anyway, that's just a very quick demonstration and a show of what I got. And I've gone way past the clocky time, haven't I? But you can see just how easy it is to colour in and do things that you wouldn't normally be able to do with a paintbrush and reach areas like that. Now, as I look close up on camera, I can see that I haven't been particularly tidy. So I'm going to stand her up and get right to that edge. There, see? All done with a paint marker pen. Right, I hope you enjoyed my little haul and my little collection of goodies, because I've got something I'm going to be playing with for quite a long while. And when I get my other moulds in, I will show those to you too, because they're just absolutely awesome. Now, I know that I was going to paint this and show you, so maybe for the tutorial next week, I can use that and we'll paint it then, and I'll show you how to do it a little bit more delicately, because the detail on it is just absolutely awesome. Right, you have a fabulous day. As usual, all links below, and I will link this store. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.